Dr. Olivia Moses, and welcome to Colorful Cooking. This is the show where we try to get as many colors of the rainbow on our plate, and very often we get all of them. Now you might be thinking, all the colors, why would she want to do that? Well, the more colors we have on our plate, the more nutrition we have on the plate, which means there's more nutrition in our body. So we here try to be creative, get all the colors of our plate, all the colors in the rainbow on our plate, and then we know that nutrition is not only good for us, but also delicious. So are we ready? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a holiday recipe, and holiday recipes are good in the holidays and out of the holidays. So today we're going to be using cranberries. Cranberries, we kind of think about Thanksgiving, we think about Christmas here in the United States. However, they can be used all year round because nowadays we're getting a lot of these dried cranberries that you can get in your regular grocery store, which are great just for a snack and not even on a salad. So today we're going to be doing cranberries. Now for our red, because usually we use tomatoes, so I thought I'd get creative and do cranberries for our red. So let's talk a little bit about cranberries. I have some slides here to talk about what cranberries really are. They are a group of evergreen dwarf shrubs, actually, and they are fairly low-growing. They're found in acidic bogs throughout the cooler parts of the northern hemisphere. Now, with cranberries, what we see is they're one of the rare kind of fruits or berries that actually grow in colder climates. So the U.S. crops, now these are the states where these berries are grown. They're grown in Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, Tennessee, Washington, Wisconsin. Now these states in the United States are basically states we don't really think about a lot of farming, but they're great for cranberries. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I know that we used to go to actually the ocean spray bogs where they used to give us tours for cranberries. Now, cranberries, I said the word bog. So what they do is they flood these bogs with water when it is time for harvest. And it's actually very beautiful to see. And here's a bog that now has all these cranberries floating on the water. Now, isn't that a cool way to harvest a crop? You flood, you get to go swimming kind of in your boots with the cranberry harvesting. Here's another picture of two individuals harvesting cranberries. Doesn't that look like fun? You're in your big boots, it's almost fishing boots, and you get to harvest some cranberries. Here we go is another one, and you can see that we have very big industrial machines that go about and harvest these cranberries from the shrubs. They all start floating. If you actually want to try this at home and buy some fresh cranberries and throw them in a bowl of water, you'll see that the cranberries actually can float to the top. So cranberries are also a berry that grows or gets harvested in our cooler or fall times, which are like September and October, which is probably why they're known for our holidays that are during that time of year. Here's another picture of the bogs and trying to get all the berries and harvesting the berries. So cranberry, some of you might not know where the word cranberry comes from. The word cranberry actually is derived from the word craneberry, which was first named by early European settlers in America who felt the flower resembled the neck, head, and bill of the crane. And you see I have a picture there with a little arrow kind of showing what the blossom looks like. Does that look like a crane to you? It kind of does if you use your imagination. So cranberries and your health. Cranberries have moderate levels of vitamin C, dietary fiber, and the mineral manganese. So they can be good for your health. I do want to warn you, if you have never had a fresh cranberry, watch out because they are very strong, but it's a fun thing to try out. Usually you'll see them in sauces or jams or chutneys, and it's usually because that cranberry is quite tart and strong that they actually add a lot of sugar to it. When we dry them, it's also sweeter as well. So let's get to our holiday recipe. So let's look at our dressing. So get out your pens and paper because I'm going to flash this recipe up for you. The first thing, let's look at the dressing because if those of you who watch Colorful Cooking know I like to make my dressings first. We have balsamic vinegar, we have olive oil, we throw in there a little salt, and this is a new one for me, orange juice, because for me, mixing my savory with my sweet is not necessarily my favorite thing, but with this, I'm going to make an exception because it tastes so good. Orange juice and some Dijon mustard. So let's get going. So we have our extra virgin olive oil, and those of you who are joining me for the first time, I like to mix my dressings in the same bowl that I'm going to have my salad. And the reason I do that because I don't like washing dishes. So if we can use the same dish once, let's do it. Okay, so we're going to pour some olive oil in here, and we got some fairly good olive oil. Don't need too much. I know a lot of dressings ask for a cup, sometimes, of olive oil. I kind of go a little bit low on my olive oil because of waste-friendly recipes. Now, then we are now doing some balsamic vinegar. Now, you can also use apple cider vinegar in this recipe. You want to do just a touch because some vinegar goes a long way. A little vinegar goes a long way. And now, let's do some orange juice. Now, with the orange juice, you can do fresh squeezed orange juice, which is always the best thing to do. And I'm going to do some oranges today as well, and we're going to squeeze some fresh juice in there too. Today, I bought some low-calorie orange juice, so I'm going to throw some of that in here, a splash of orange juice. And you see that all of this is mixing up really nicely in the bowl, and that's what I want. I want all these flavors to meld. Okay, so we have balsamic vinegar, we have olive oil, we have orange juice, and we're going to throw some Dijon mustard in here too. Now, Dijon mustard gives you a little peppery bite to your food, so we're going to just put a little bit on there and kind of mix it all together so we have all these flavors melding. You actually see the mustard melt into all our liquid here. Okay, there we go. And so when we do this at the beginning of our recipe, it gives the dressing some time to sit, which is what we want. Okay? So now with that, we're going to throw in a little bit of salt. Okay? And let's mix that up too. Get the salt going in there. Get that all dissolved up. Okay. There we go. And we have a nice little orange type of vinaigrette dressing on this. Now, again, we like to use colors here at Colorful Cooking, so what I'm going to do first is actually use the purple and blue ingredient first, because with the onion, I like to chop my onion, stick them into the dressing, which takes some of the bite out of there so it can marinate a little bit. So purple and blue color, we're going to use a purple onion today. I know they call them red, but they look purple to me, so I'm going to call them purple. Kind of matches my sweater, doesn't it? Okay. Now, there we go. And we don't need a whole lot of onion. However, when you do the cooking, you make it the way you like it. So if you love onion, put as much onion as you want in there. So I'm going to actually cut this really, really thin because I don't like really big pieces of onion in my recipes. And as some of you know, I don't really like big pieces of salad either, so I chop all my salads up. Okay, so here I'm going to do just a very rough chop of my onion here, and I'm going to stick it into my dressing. Okay, so here you can use all kinds of onions. You can use green onions, white onions, but because we're trying to do some colorful cooking, we're going to use our purple. Okay, so there we go, and I think that's enough onion for me. So we're going to stick that in the bowl. And you see, look at that. Already we got some colors going on there. We got a nice pretty brown, and we see the olive oil kind of laying on the top there. And we're going to kind of stick our onions all in there, and they're going to marinate and be really great in our salad. So there's the sliced onion. So what we're going to do now is let's get the bulky things out of the way. We have our spinach is our bulky thing, and I wanted to show you what I did here. When I brought them from the store, I washed them, and that is very important with all our colorful cooking recipes. We want to wash all our vegetables. And I stuck it in a bag with some paper towels, and I threw it in to the refrigerator, so when I can take it out, it's already washed and done with. We don't have to waste time washing things when we get home. I'm not going to stick that in there right now because sometimes when you let the leaves sit in the dressing, they get a little soggy, so we don't want to do that right away. So the next thing we're going to do here, we got our red cranberries, we got our oranges, we got our yellow apples, we have our green spinach, and our purple onions. So we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple for colorful cooking. So here we go with the apples. I'm just going to cut a half apple, just cut them into wedges, and I like cutting things the easiest way possible. So here, we just want to get the core out of it, and I keep the skin on. Some people like to cut the apple and actually peel the apples. The skin is actually a really great, whoop, went flying over. That's okay. And then we cut off the core. Now, you can cut it the way I did. Here's another way to cut the apple. You can actually cut it to the side, and you can cut the bottom, and there is the core right there. So 2 methods. One is a little bit dangerous, like I showed you, and then this one is a whole lot easier. Okay? So again, you want to cut the half, and then slice it at an angle, and it cuts the core all the way out. Okay? So here we go. We're going to cut our apples up. And I like having my apples in small pieces because it's easier to chew. So here we go with our apple. Got a yellow apple. Now my recipe actually calls for pears. When I first wrote the recipe, we had pears, and let me tell you a little story. When I went grocery shopping last night, bought some pears, and what I did when I got home last night, I was so tired, I left it in the bag because I knew I was coming to the studio the next day, and in the morning, I went to go look at the bag. Do you know what? They overripe. They got overripe right in the bag, because when you keep these kind of fruit in bag, it produces a gas that actually makes the fruit ripen faster. So if you're trying to slow down the ripening process, you definitely don't want to keep the things in the bag. And I learned it the hard way, something that I already knew, but I got lazy last night. So then I went to the grocery store this morning to get some more pears, and they didn't have very good pears. So what is the take-home message there? The take-home message is you buy the things that are beautiful in the store, because with colorful cooking, you want to buy things that are definitely in season. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to do this cut again. So you cut it in half, cut it in quarters, and then cut at an angle. There you go, all the way out, nothing flying across the room. Okay, so again, any yellow fruit will actually do with this to get the colors in there. Pears, another holiday kind of favorite, and apples. I used a yellow apple. There we go. I'm going to show you again how to get that cut. See, we have the cut, and then at an angle, cut the whole thing off, and the core comes right out. Do it one more time. There you go. Core is right out. So look at this beautiful color that we have going on here. Okay, there we go with our apples. Now, grocery shopping is one of those things that I love doing, and I love buying things in season. However, it's not always the right season for the things you have a craving for, is it? So, but the thing is, the great thing about buying things in season is it's cheaper. So we always have our budget in mind as well. So buying things in season, also tasty and very, very economical. Okay, so we have our apples that we're going to get into our bowl here. Now, what we want now are orange peels. Now, with our, not orange peels, we want to peel our orange, and we have orange wedges. Now, a way to do orange wedges, there is a technique to this, so I'm going to show you how to do this. What I want you to do is you cut the top, okay, right there, and you actually see the beautiful segments of the orange already when you cut the top. So we cut the top and we cut the bottom, okay, and doing this actually helps you rest it on your cutting board. When you rest it on your cutting board, now you don't even have to hold it, it's not going to roll away, okay? After you do that, what I want you to do is take your knife at an angle at the top of the orange, and then you follow the orange all the way around, okay? There you go, all the way around, and you see the segments there. It does take some practice. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the white rind off of the orange, okay? And you'll have to clean it up probably a little bit after you're done with it. because it's hard to get the rind off, the whole rind off the first time around. Okay, so you just go all the way around the orange, just like that. Okay, and then you have an orange that might have some rind still on it, and then you go around and you clean it up, because that rind can tend to be fairly bitter, and you don't want that in your salad. And look how beautiful these oranges are. God really knew what he was doing when he created these things. Okay, so you have this beautiful segmented orange here. Oh, got some white stuff still on there. There we go. Okay, now what you see is you actually see the segments of the orange already there. And do you see these lines that go right down the orange? You want to actually take those. That's what we're trying to avoid. So here we go. We're going to cut here, and we're going to cut here, and it pops right out, a beautiful segment of an orange. So that's what we're going to do all the way around this orange. And I'm going to do this twice so everybody sees what I'm doing. There we go. And we're trying to avoid those membrane parts that actually separate the orange, because when you peel the orange, like most of us do, like for lunchtime, that separate the orange automatically, those are the membranes that we're actually trying to avoid. Okay, and this takes a little bit of time, so we're going to just take our time to make the salad look really beautiful. So right there you can see it. I'm going to come right over the bowl and cut these segments right out. Okay, now you see that, and some of you, and like I always do, you want to use all your ingredients to the fullest because you paid for them. So now you see you have something that is kind of wasted. You can actually eat this. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to squeeze it and add to the orange juice in my salad. Okay, you just squeeze it, and so you're getting the best use of your orange. So I'm going to do another one to show you what this actually looks like again. Look at these beautiful oranges. So you cut the top, get the segments, cut the bottom. You can see the segments right there. And then we're going to skin it. Here we go. Here we go, right around. When you get into practice, it actually can be kind of fun to actually see you're uncovering this beautiful orange. There we go. And depending on the kind of orange you have, you can actually, how you can see the shapes and everything. Another way to cut these oranges, which is going to be harder to chew, is to cut it this way, and you can actually create a really beautiful piece of orange. And I'll do that again. Okay, look how pretty that is. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in there. Actually, you know what? Let's do something unplanned. We're going to cut it all the way down like this, because that's so pretty. Look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So I'm going to stick that all in there. There we go. Okay, so we have our orange wedges and we have our orange octagons because of the way I cut it. I love that cooking is spontaneous. Okay, so we have our orange wedges, we have our yellow apples, now we get to our spinach. Now our spinach, again, is going to pack a more powerful, nutritious punch than our lettuce. And some people, they think I ruined the beauty of the spinach because of these beautiful spinach leaves. However, like I told you, I like to chop my spinach up because getting this big clump of anything in my mouth is not my most favorite thing. So what I do is I chop this stuff up, okay? But look at how wonderfully green this spinach is, and it's going to offset these colors beautifully with our salad. So look at that, right there. Already it looks wonderful. Okay. Now, do you feel festive already with our holiday salad here? That can be done all year round. Now, those of you who are watching who are in a dorm room, this is something you can absolutely do in your dorm room. No stove necessary to get some healthy eating going on. Okay? So here we go. Some more spinach in the bowl. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to mix this up so this can kind of get coated a little bit in my bowl. Okay, you'll see how beautiful this looks. Okay, look at that. Okay, now you're saying, where are your cranberries? Well, it's time for them right now. Okay, and that little bit of red color is going to be a fantastic addition to this salad. Okay, so we have our cranberries here. Again, if you like cranberries, dump a whole lot of them in there, and I do, so I am. Okay, so here we go. Another beautiful, beautiful addition to this wonderful salad. Okay, let's mix that all up. Oh, it looks very, very Christmassy. Okay, so now we're starting to get to the good stuff. Okay, I'm going to get a beautiful plate that is very holiday. So we're going to get holiday. Now, do you see that these rounds of orange can be used to then go right around the plate? You know what will be delicious in the salad too? It's another festive thing. Let's put some slivered almonds in there, okay? Which is not only beautiful, but it'll give it a nice little crunch to our salad. Okay, we are just about ready. We have our plate here. Let's get plating. Okay, there we go. Have a lot of the juices running down. Okay, see how beautiful that is? Now, this kind of salad can be used definitely with as a side dish to your holiday menu, or it can be used as a first course to get people just ready and raring to go for a beautiful, beautiful dinner. Okay, so here we go with our salad, and I'm going to show you a little way to garnish this. So we're going to take some cranberries and go right around the plate. Okay, and this can be used on a buffet too if you want to heap it up higher. And then we're going to take some more of these almonds and then run that along the side of the plate as well. Okay, so there you have it. That is a wonderfully, wonderfully festive holiday salad. So the best part of cooking is the eating, I always say. So let's get some for us. Okay? So again, beautiful holiday salad on a plate. However, every day, these are my everyday plates, we can have all kinds of delicious, delicious food. Okay? Whether you're in the dorm or in the house, or having mom cook for you, which is always the best thing. Okay? Now, with this, here's a question for you. Can you replace these apples with red apples or green apples, or can you put some other citrus fruit in a salad like this? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can use red apples, you can use green apples, you can use blood oranges, which will give another pop of color to offset the cranberries. You can actually use grapefruit in conjunction with your oranges as well, which would be wonderful too. So let's try this. Okay, now what's important too, to remember, you can always add different nuts as well. So sometimes we use walnuts in recipes like this. I used almonds, I used sliced almonds, you can use slivered almonds. Another thing, if you want to get it really fancy and you're not worried about your waistline, here, and you didn't hear it from me, but you can use candied nuts. So you can use candied pecans, candied walnuts. These are all kinds of things that you can use with this kind of recipe. This kind of base recipe you can use for all kinds of things. So let's get a taste of this. Oh, Do you hear the crunch? The crunch is wonderful. You have the sweetness of the oranges and the orange juice that I can taste. You have the sweetness of the cranberries that gives a nice little gooey twist in there, and you have the crunch of the apples. Another thing that you taste is the salt, which is actually coming through with the salt that we added, and the vinegar, which is that touch of sour, and the mustard, which is that touch of peppery feel. So again, beautiful, beautiful salad that is good all year round. Depending on what time of year, you get the things that are the freshest and the best. Okay, so with that, I want to also show you something when it comes, and we have a little bit of time left. I want to show you something when it comes to these oranges as well. So let's get the oranges out, and I'm going to show you something that's really special about these oranges. When you come up and you're trying this for the very, very first time, what you might want to do is actually peel the orange at the top. Okay, peel the orange at the top, so then we can look actually at the segments of the orange. Now, isn't it wonderful how these things actually are made from a flower? You see blossoms, orange blossoms, and they turn into this big old fruit. Okay, so when you open the orange, you can actually see these segments that you're trying to actually achieve. Okay, and it's not hard to segment these oranges at all. But you can see that when this peel, this white peel that I'm pulling off right now, is the thing you're trying to avoid altogether, because this is the thing that makes it bitter. But once you start peeling off these layers and dissecting this fruit, let's pretend we're botanists for a second and actually dissect the fruit to see all the things that it's made out of. You actually see the segments come alive when you actually start peeling the layers. And what we're doing with the knife is we're actually cutting down these layers to make sure that none of this fibrous membrane is had. However, we do need fiber in our diet, so I'm saying when we do this, this is for special occasions, but when we're actually eating the fruit, we still need to eat all of this stuff. Okay? So when we're cooking with Colorful Cooking, we want to also go over the recipe really quick so you can write it down. So the salad, we have dried cranberries, we have orange wedges, we have yellow pears, we have spinach, purple onion, and for a little bit of flair, we added some sliced onion, sliced almonds. So then with the dressing, we have balsamic vinegar to give it that sour bite. We have olive oil, we have salt, and again, that's to taste. Orange juice that we squeezed from our oranges, and we used bottled orange juice and some Dijon mustard. So there you have it. That is our recipe for today. I hope you had a wonderful time joining me to make some holiday cranberry salad. And please join me again so we can do some more wonderful, wonderful, colorful cooking.